Hi, welcome back to my channel, The Coin Studio. Today, we're diving deep into the top 10 most valuable US quarters minted after 1970. Number 10 on our list is a seemingly ordinary coin with a tiny, yet crucial detail, the 1981's type 2 proof quarter. At first glance, it looks like any other proof coin from the early 1980s, mirror-like finish, frosted devices, and that iconic S mint mark denoting the San Francisco Mint. But here's where it gets fascinating. In 1981, two distinct mint mark varieties were used on proof coins: Type 1, which had a blob-like S, and Type 2, which featured a much sharper, clearer S. The Type 2 version was introduced mid-production and is significantly scarcer, making it a coveted find among proof collectors. Collectors value this coin not for a dramatic error or wild variety, but for its subtlety and rarity. The Type 2 proof quarters in perfect PR70 deep cameo condition have sold for $20,000 to $30,000, sometimes more, especially as collectors scramble to complete high-grade proof sets from this era. How can you tell the difference? Look closely at the mint mark under magnification. Type 2 has distinct serifs and clarity, while Type 1 appears rounded and mushy. If you have a 1981 proof set lying around, it's definitely worth a second look. At number 9, we head to the land of 10,000 lakes with the 2005 Minnesota State quarter, a coin that sparked a frenzy in the collector world thanks to a particularly leafy mystery. Shortly after the Minnesota quarters were released, sharp-eyed collectors noticed something strange on the reverse just to the right of the main trees. A faint but unmistakable extra seemed to appear. This was no ordinary feature, it was the result of a double die reverse DDR. In fact, it wasn't just one die variety. Experts have identified over 30 different DDR varieties, some more dramatic than others. These extra tree errors came from dies that were improperly prepared, causing portions of the design to be struck twice with a slight offset. The most valuable examples show a bold and distinct extra separated and easily visible without magnification. These can fetch $25,000 to $35,000 or more, especially in high grades like Miss 66 and above. This is a coin that rewards persistence. With over 488 million Minnesota quarters minted, these dead air varieties are like needles in a haystack. But unlike many other rare coins, these were discovered by average collectors, not experts or dealers, proving that rare finds can still emerge from pocket change. Sliding into the number 8 spot is a full year's worth of beautiful coins, the 1999's silver proof quarters, the very first silver state quarters, struck in stunning proof quality by the San Francisco Mint. 1999 marked the launch of the 50 state quarters program, one of the most popular coin series in US history. Each year, 5 states were honored with unique reverse designs, and collectors were thrilled. But the proof versions, those were special. And the silver proof set, struck in 90% silver, was the crown jewel. Collectors who ordered directly from the US Mint received 5 dazzling quarters: Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Georgia, and Connecticut, all with mirror-like fields and frosted devices. But only a tiny fraction of those coins earned a PR70 deep cameo grade, the highest possible designation for a modern proof. In PR70 cam, each silver proof quarter from 1999 can fetch $40,000 to $45,000 individually. And a complete 5-coin silver set in PR70, that can command $50,000 or more, depending on demand. What makes these coins so special is the perfect storm of rarity and timing. They were the first in the series. Minute at a time, many sets were handled, stored improperly, or simply didn't make the grade. Today, pristine examples are like modern treasures: precise, hair-picked, and immensely desirable. At number 7, we take a closer look at the coins that seem entirely ordinary until you understand the historical context. The 1980 to pin 1980 to D Washington quarters are some of the most elusive modern coins to find in pristine condition. Why? Let's rewind to 1982. The US Mint made a controversial decision that year. It did not issue official and circulated mint sets. This decision was part of a cost-cutting effort due to budget constraints during a period of economic uncertainty. As a result, all coins minted for circulation in 1982 were distributed directly into commerce. That means the vast majority of 1982 quarters, whether struck in Philadelphia or Denver, were used, abused, scratched, dropped in change jars, or run through vending machines for decades. Unlike other years, there were no mint set quality coins preserved by default. So if you want to find a Ms. 66 or Ms. 67 plus grade 1982 quarter, your odds are extremely low. And here's the catch: grading services like PCs and NGC have certified only a small handful of these coins in truly top condition. As of recent population reports, there are less than 100 examples of some of these coins in Ms. 67 or better. Because of that rarity, high-grade examples of these otherwise common quarters can sell for $50,000 to $65,000, with some auctioning even higher depending on demand and market trends. They're a shining reminder that condition isn't just important, it's everything in modern coin collecting. So, next time you see a 1982 quarter in a junk box or coin jar, take a moment. If it's sharp, clean, and lustrous, you may just be holding a hidden treasure. Coming in at number 6 is a coin that shouldn't exist but somehow slipped through the cracks of the US Mint. It's the 1974 Washington quarter struck on a 40% silver planchet. A stunning example of a transitional era that continues to captivate collectors. To understand this coin, we need to revisit the bicentennial era. Between 1975 and 1976, the US Mint struck special commemorative quarters with the dual date 1776-1976 were minted in 40% silver, sold only in collector sets. These silver plancets were intended solely for bicentennial coins, not for regular quarters in 1974. Yet somehow, at Denver Mint, a 40% silver planchet was fed into the press and struck with a 1974 quartered eye, creating a rare and valuable off-metal arrow. This coin looks almost identical to a regular clad quarter, but it has that distinctive silver hue and weighs approximately 5.75 grams, compared to the standard 5.67 grams of a clad coin. Only a handful of these silver era quarters have been authenticated, and they typically sell for $70,000 to $75,000 depending on their condition. They've appeared in major auction houses and are known to be legitimate US Mint terrors, not fantasy pieces or counterfeits. Collectors test these coins with magnets, weight scales, and even specific gravity tests to verify the silver content. And when confirmed, these become centerpiece of modern era collections. A 1974 quarter that was never meant to be silver, yet now stands as a silver lining in numismatic history. Now for number 5, an era so visual, so peculiar, and so oddly charming. It earned the nickname the Spitting Horse. That's right, we're talking about the 1999 Delaware state quarter with a die crack error that caused quite a stir when it was first discovered. Let's set the scene. In 1999, the US Mint launched the 50 state quarters program, kicking things off with Delaware. The reverse of the coin features Caesar Rodney galloping heroically on horseback. But soon after release, collectors noticed something strange: a raised line protruding from the horse's mouth, stretching forward like a stream of spit. This wasn't a joke, it was the result of a die crack. A small fissure in the coin die that transferred onto hundreds, possibly thousands of quarters. And while die cracks are not uncommon in coinage, this one was especially memorable due to its placement. It truly looked like the horse was spitting. Because of the uniqueness and humor of the error, these coins quickly became collectibles. They're typically valued between $80,000 to $85,000, with the strongest examples where the crack is thick and extends clearly from the horse's mouth, fetching even more in high grades. What makes this error particularly valuable is its combination of visibility, popularity, and timing. It was discovered early in the state quarter program, when interest in new designs was at an all-time high. The spitting horse became a mascot of sorts for the world of error coin, showing that even a minor die crack could capture imaginations and create buzz. If you're hunting through 1999 quarter rolls or coin jars, keep your eyes peeled for the Delaware quarter. Because if that horse is spitting, you've just found a quirky piece of numismatic fame. At number 4 is a coin minted to celebrate nation's birthday, the 1976 bicentennial silver-proof quarter, issued for the 200th anniversary of American independence. This coin isn't just a collectible, it's a sought-after gem in pristine condition. Let's set the scene. In the mid-1970s, the U.S. Mint began preparing for a monumental event, America's bicentennial. To mark the occasion, they released special quarter designs featuring a colonial drummer and a torch of victory. But the crown jewel of the series was the silver-proof version minted in San Francisco. Unlike the regular clad quarters, these proof coins were struck on 40% silver plankets, sold only in limited edition collector sets. The strike quality was immaculate, deep mirror fields and frosted details, but only a fraction have survived in flawless condition. Those that grade PR70 deep cameo are exceptionally rare. And here's where value comes into play. While raw examples are common, top-graded coins PR70 cam have fetched over $120,000 at auction, especially as early holders break open sets in search of perfect coins. Entire silver bicentennial sets also command high premiums when certified as perfect. But there's more. This coin isn't just valuable for its silver or grade, it holds a deep emotional value. It's a symbol of America's revolutionary legacy, and a favorite among patriotic collectors. So if you've got a 1976 silver-proof in your collection, it's time to check its grade. You could be holding a high-value tribute to American history. Number 3 brings us a quarter that takes error collecting to the next level, the 1983 double die reverse Washington quarter. This is not just any error, it's a bold, unmistakable example of machine doubling that created sharp, distinct doubling on the back of the coin. What sets this apart from other varieties? It's the clarity of the error. On a genuine 1983 PDDR quarter, you'll see strong doubling on the reverse inscriptions, particularly the words E pluribus unum and the leaves near the eagle's claws. This isn't the kind of error you need a microscope for. It's visible to the naked eye. Why is this coin so rare? Well, 1983 was another year without official US Mint sets. Just like 1982. That means no high-quality and circulated coins were preserved by the government. Nearly every 1983 quarter went straight into circulation, suffering from wear and tear. Finding a 1983 quarter with a double die and in high mint state condition, that's incredibly difficult. Coins graded Ms 65 or higher can sell for $150,000 to $155,000 depending on the strength of the doubling and overall condition. Some specimens with razor-sharp detail have reached $0.2 million at auction. Collectors love this coin not just for the doubling, but for what it represents, a time when the mint struggled with die maintenance and errors slipped through. Today it stands as one of the most visually impressive modern quarter errors. If you're roll hunting or searching through old change, this is one of the most exciting errors you can find. Because it doesn't just whisper, it shouts. Taking the number to spot is a coin that caused a media frenzy the moment it was discovered. The 2000 for Wisconsin State Quarter, featuring the now infamous extrast, E for Leides either high leaf, is one of the most famous mint errors in US coinage from the 2000s. Let's talk design first. The Wisconsin quarter shows a dairy cow, a round of cheese, and an ear of corn. But not all of them are created equal. In late 2004, collectors began noticing two unusual varieties on the Denver minted coins: an extra corn husk leaf, one that either jutted up into the corn high leaf or dipped down near the cheese low leaf. The cause? A mysterious die gouge or intentional modification. There's still debate to this day. Was it an accident or the result of mint employee mischief? Regardless, only a limited number were struck before the dies were replaced, making these coins extremely rare. Here's where it gets wild. Back in the mid-2000s, these coins were fetching $50,000 to $100,000 right out of circulation. High-grade examples today still sell for $180,000 to $220,000, with Miss 66 or higher examples crossing $0.5 million in auctions. Unlike other errors that require close inspection, the extra leaf is easily visible. If you've got a 2004 Wisconsin quarter, grab a magnifying glass and check the corn. That one extra line of detail could turn your pocket change into a windfall. It's a modern mystery and a modern marvel still being hunted today. And now a number one, the most mysterious, valuable, and downright astonishing modern quarter ever discovered. The 1970s proof quarter struck on a 1941 Canadian silver quarter plankett. Yes, you heard that right, a US coin. Struck during the height of proof production in San Francisco. Was accidentally made using a foreign coin, a Canadian 25-cent piece from 1941, composed of 80% silver. How did this happen? That's the million-dollar question. At the time, the US Mint was involved in melting down foreign coins, including silver ones. It's likely that a leftover Canadian plankett remained in the system and was accidentally fed into US proof press, where it received the 1970s quarter design. This wasn't just an error, it was an anomaly of international proportions. The coin was later authenticated. And here's where it gets incredible. It's sold at auction for over $0.35 million. You can tell it apart by weight. Canadian silver quarters weigh slightly more than US clad quarters. And if you look at the edges, some specimens have traces of the original Canadian design still visible, hiding underneath the US strike. Only one confirmed example exists, making this one of the rarest and most valuable modern quarter errors of all time. It's not just a coin, it's a story of timing, international coinage, and the rarest kind of mint mistake, the kind nobody thought was possible. From subtle mint mark differences to wild international blunders, these 10 quarters prove that modern coins can be just as thrilling and valuable as ancient gold. If you enjoyed this countdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell. Share this with a friend who might be holding on to a small fortune without even knowing it. Until next time, keep searching, stay curious, and remember, every coin tells a story. Thanks for watching.